Welcome back to 5-Minute Fantasy Football, presented to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you go to Underdog Fantasy, use promo code FFSGPN so they know we sent you. Let's talk a little bit about Sleeper and who's being added, who's being dropped. The top 10 being added on Sleeper: Carson Steele, Quentin Johnston, Kareem Hunt, Jalen Nailor, Samaje Perine, Las Vegas Raiders defense, Mike Gesicki, Braylon Allen, Andy Dalton, Skylar Thompson, and then Hunter Henry is number 11. As far as who's being dropped, if you're adding players, you got to drop them, right? Jeff Wilson, Tank Bigsby, Caleb Williams, Colby Parkinson, Matthew Stafford, Alan Lazard, Jaleel McLaughlin, Taysom Hill, Cortland Sutton, Justice Hill, and Greg Dortch. So as far as the quarterback position, my favorite targets this week, if you haven't added Justin Fields already, I don't know what you're doing. Justin Fields is in 13% of he's rostered in Superflex. He's rostered on ESPN, 13% of leagues, and he needs to be rostered higher than that. Derek Carr, 8%. So both those guys. Derek Carr, great week 1. Everyone expected him to, fall on his face week 2 against Dallas. Maybe he does it week 3. He gets Philadelphia, but I don't think so. Derek Carr looks really good. This offense looks really good and has a lot to do with Clint Kubiak, the additions to the offensive line, and Alvin Kamara looks great. We saw Chris Olave bounce back, and then Rashid Shaheed is the real deal. So I really like Derek Carr moving forward, and I've not always been a huge fan of him, but this offense looks really good. Justin Fields, again, I think he's done enough to at least maintain this job going 2-0, and someone that you want to keep an eye on. A lot of people in the comments last week saying that these kind of guys aren't available in their leagues. So if you're going to go with maybe a deeper option, a player you want to stash would be, in my opinion, Drake May might be a guy you want to stash in deep leagues, just because he's going to be somebody that he's going to be somebody that is going to take over eventually. He's got some rushing upside, and this Patriots offense is looking a little bit better. But for this week, I know it's nasty, but Deshaun Watson gets the New York Giants. He's a deep play that you could pick up. Going to the running back position, both Carson Steele and Samaje Perine are being picked up. They both are widely available. Carson Steele's rostered in 1% of NFL leagues, and Samaje Perine in 0.5%. Carson Steele is more of the deeper ad, but Samaje Perine is the ad for me. He's going to be the pass-catching guy in this offense, and we know that role's always been really good. Plus, we should expect him to get a good, healthy workload as far as the rushing. Braylon Allen, no, he's not going to score 2 touchdowns every week. Breece Hall managers would be very upset, but he is the clear-cut handcuff, and now he's earned time in this offense. Braylon Allen is someone that you absolutely want to make sure you have in your roster. You may not want to start him this week, but I definitely want to make sure he's rostered. He's available in over 98% of leagues. And again, Samaje Perine, 99% of leagues. As far as the receivers, there's a lot of them. I know some of these guys, Quentin Johnston has, he's disappointed us in the past. And it was the Carolina Panthers, so we want to pump the brakes a little bit. But he looked awesome, and he looks much better week 1. My concerns with this offense are that Quentin Johnston is not going to be a weekly thing just because the volume has been down. But he seems to be the number 1 in this offense. Josh Palmer's dealing with a knee injury. We didn't see much from McConkey this week. And Quentin Johnston is the big play guy in this offense. You look at the first week and the second week, he's got a lot more air yards than McConkey. He's also getting targeted. I know he's going to have a drop. He had a big drop the week 1. Didn't have a drop on week 2. But he looks better. And he's widely available. Someone you want to pick up. It's rare to get the number 1 receiver on any team available on free agency. Rashid Shaheed, you got to pick him up. 2 weeks in a row. This guy's heating up. You're not going to get the huge big touchdowns every single week, but his involvement as far as his route participation, his snaps, snap counts, air yards, everything screams pick this guy up. And then, some other guys that I wrote down that you want to pick up. Demarcus Robinson, if he's available, pick him up. If for the deeper leagues, Jalen Nailor and Jordan Whittington should be available. They're widely available in leagues, and guys that you should be looking at. Yoshivas and Burton are other plays that might, check to see in your deeper leagues if they're available. Especially Yoshivas. Everyone picked him up and then dropped him last week with Higgins out. We still don't know what's going to happen with Higgins, but my thing about Yoshivas is he's a red zone threat, and he has taken the Tyler Boyd role. If T. Higgins comes back, that's bad news for Burton, not for Yoshivas. As far as the tight ends, Hunter Henry, I had him on so many benches this week. Should have made the play. I should have trusted my instincts. I drafted him all over the place because he is the number one target in this offense. We saw what this offense looked like with David Njoku last year in Cleveland. Jacoby Brissett he's always targeted the tight end, and they got him involved super early, extremely high targets. You should expect that moving forward. They're looking to get the ball out quick, run the ball a lot. They're not going to put that offensive line in harm's way. Another guy is Mike Gesicki. He had a much better week one than you guys know if you didn't watch the game. He had a touchdown called back. He also had a big play called back on penalty. This week, you saw it, and he looks really good. Another play called back on penalty, but you get to see him being more involved in this offense. Another guy I'm interested in. In deep leagues, Foster Moreau's been, he's been really involved in this offense in the Saints. If you're trying to get a piece of that offense, but more in like a 2 tight end league, there's really the guy that I would stash in leagues is Tucker Kraft. Jordan Love's going to be back, and Tucker Kraft's going to be the guy you want. Look for people to drop him, and Tucker Kraft is a guy that I'm picking up. Going back to the Bengals, they get Washington this week, so they're going to get right. That offense is going to look a lot better. You'll definitely have a much better. And Deshaun Watson, he gets the Giants this week. It's another reason why you want to get Deshaun Watson. So, before we get out of here, I'm over the 5-minute mark already. Tampa Bay is a defense you want to look at. Green Bay is a defense you want to look at. The Raiders get Carolina. I know Andy Dalton's going to be in there. It might be an improvement over Bryce Young, but still, an offensive you want to attack. Bad offensive line, bad quarterback. They're just a mess. Packers defense has been really, really good, so you want to continue to go there. So that's 5-minute fantasy football. As always, good luck this season.